Hi, this is Tricia, Director of the Erickson Business Center, creator and facilitator of the Passion and Profit program, but most importantly, your personal business building mentor. I am pleased today. I have Tanya McGinnity with me today. Hello, Tanya. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And Tanya and I have gotten together today because I've asked her if I could interview her on one of the things that makes the biggest difference for us as coaches in business. Makes the biggest difference in being able to sustain our success and really spend our time in high payoff activities. And Tanya's been an amazing example of this, and this is all around getting support, creating what I like to call a world-class support team around you. And so, Tanya, I know it's been a few months now that you've actually acted on this, and I know it was a big decision for you, and you implemented some systems and processes, and I would just love, I'm pleased to have this opportunity to interview you today about this because I know there's other coaches out there that are thinking of hiring support, but maybe there's some resistance or they don't know what steps to take. And I just think you've been a great example of jumping in and putting things in place. So, Tanya, before I ask you specifics about that, give us a little bit of an overview. What did your business look like before you hired some support and put the systems in place? And then we can talk about where you are now. So what was it like before you put in those pieces?
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So before, there was lots of Excel spreadsheets. There was a lot of time organizing what I'm doing, admin. There was lots of lists. There was just a lot of leakage in time on tasks that I really didn't want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a lot of not a lot of order. It was all quite on the go, dynamic, last minute.
Yeah. And you were doing it all, weren't you?
And I was doing it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about your business because you have a pretty successful, big coaching business. Can you give us an idea, like how are you spending your time as a coach?
Yeah. So I would have typically 10 coaching clients at a time. I would facilitate for corporations between 2 and 5 days a month. And then I run online women's programs as well. So yeah, I'm fairly busy.
So you work a lot in your business, and then you are also managing all these moving parts. Okay.
Exactly.
Not sure how you did it all, but you were doing it.
Yeah. And battling with the tax returns and all of the regulatory demands from the Spanish system. So I'm really trying to figure all of that out, and that was time that was taking me away from being with my clients and being with my business.
Okay, great. And, Tanya, just let our audience know that, you've been in business for 4 years and running a pretty successful business for the last 4 years. And today, Tanya just shared with me, it continues to grow. And I remember when we had the conversation, when I found out that you didn't have any support team in place, it was like, wow, how are you doing all this? And one of the things that I highly encourage, coaches to do right from the beginning to really consider having admin support and a bookkeeper. So we started on that conversation, and I'm just wondering, Tanya, for you, and that's the 2 supports that you've hired. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just curious, what got you over the hump? Because obviously you're resisting doing that for a while. What had you finally say, okay, I'm going to, take the leap and get this support?
I think it was around a conversation that we had about dropping into the feminine. And it was around receiving, and it was around being open to support.
Wow.
And it just really kind of stuck with me. And I was like, well, I don't really know what systems I could put in place. But maybe I could just ask for some help. So after a session that we had one night, I emailed a friend, and he came back about virtual assistants. And he came back not only with information about virtual assistants, but also about this new tool, cloud accounting, called FreshBooks. So I
Mm.
didn't need a bookkeeper. I suddenly had cloud accounting. And then I was on a bike ride, and this person just popped into my head who might be the perfect person to support me admin wise. So
Mm.
we got together. I shared the fact that I wanted to set up cloud accounting, and would he be interested in helping me do this and support me? And he said absolutely. So he helped me put it all together. Now,
Mm.
all of his time is tracked through that system. All of that information feeds to my accountant. And basically, I have this really clean, snappy system that's transparent that everyone can see, and I can bill like that.
Wow. So how has that made a difference in your business, putting that in place?
It's professional. There's reports. I get an
Mhm.
email every week telling me how much I've billed, how much I've received. Um,
Wow.
it's just
Mm.
like, oh, yes. So there's this constant attention and
Right.
intention around in and out.
Wow, excellent, Tanya. And I loved what you said. And, thanks for sharing that. I actually forgot about that. But the whole being willing to receive. Because often getting support in our life, it might be how do I go about it and what do they do? But often it's an internal shift or a new perspective. Because many of us can hold on to that Lone Ranger mentality, or we have the internal dialogue like, oh, I can do it myself, or do I deserve to get this kind of help? So there was that emotional shift for you and an opening, and then it almost sounds like you put the antenna out there and it all came together because it came together very quickly once you decided.
Very quickly, very quickly. And the other thing that I remember that you
Mm-hmm.
said was that when we're not very good at something, we don't feel very good about it.
Uh,
So what there was a big shift in me because I wasn't very good at managing the accounts or the books. And yet when I got this system and I got the support, I was on it. I was all over it because
mm,
it demystified it for me. It wasn't so
mm.
big and awkward and clunky. It was it was transparent.
Wow.
So
And
something. So yeah, it was the idea
mhm.
of when something is difficult for you, you
Yes.
spend more time on it, and it's de-energizing. And I turned that around
Wow.
and was like, okay, well, let me kind of figure this out. There's got to be some cool software out there, and there was. It
Yeah.
landed on my lap.
And you didn't figure it out yourself. You talked to people who knew about that area. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. And it
Yeah.
almost sounds like your relationship with money and managing your money is different. I mean,
Absolutely. I get these bar charts about what I've invoiced, what's coming in, what's to come in, aging accounts. No, it's really
uh,
it's very. I'm on it. It's
excellent.
being managed.
Mm, great example of that stepping into the entrepreneurial role, right? Because we work in our business, but then we have to work on our business, and managing the finances is a big piece of that. So, wow, Tanya. How about around the admin? Because it sounds like there's the with the books, the system around your finances. And is there any other support that you've put
Oh,
in place that's
absolutely.
making a difference?
I don't do anything more with my receipts. I
Mm,
take photographs of every single receipt. I send it to my admin
okay. Yeah.
support, and he puts together bi-monthly reports for my accountant. So,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
all of that is visible on this cloud accounting system.
Mm,
So all of that manual stuff goes
it's
to him,
all
and
right.
then all of the prep work to support presenting all of my
Mm,
tax, etc. That everything is he prepares all of that for me, so I don't
okay.
have to do any of that.
So, Tanya, I know you can have high standards for yourself. I really want you to embrace and celebrate what you did here because it is huge. You are now stepping back, working on your business. You've let go of, all the stuff that isn't in what I like to call your attractive abilities, what you're great at, what you love to do. You've let go of all those other tasks and activities so you can truly service your clients and work on your business.
Exactly.
So,
Yes, and thank you for all your help.
well, and thank you for sharing this with our audience. If there was one piece of advice you'd give, maybe there's a coach out there, they're growing their business, they're getting busy, there's some cash flow, they're sitting on the fence of thinking about support. Yeah, what would you advise them? Just
Yeah, invest in the structures. Invest in a
mm,
coach, invest in an admin, and get it online. Get
okay,
get
yeah.
get FreshBooks or something like it.
Yeah, I love that piece, the online. There's so many opportunities now with online and automating it. So to look
Get
into
support,
that.
pay for it. Don't be afraid to pay for it. When you
Mm,
pay for it yourself, it comes back. It's that flow. It's the in and out.
exactly. Yeah. So I just like to conclude with saying if we're serious about growing our business and increasing our profits, we can't do it alone. We have to set up that support and those systems so we can truly serve our clients and build our business. So Tanya, thank you for being a great example and just acknowledgement of where you are now in your business and just what you're creating. So thank you, Tanya.
Thank
And
you, Alicia.
you're welcome.
My pleasure.
And just before we sign off, I just want to encourage everybody, embrace your inner entrepreneur, and take your passion and turn it into profit. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.